Okay, peeps, today we are going to be talking about the RexShares FEPI ETF that just came out and whether it could potentially have 100% yield. Let's get it. So the first thing I want to bring up here is that you guys can see we are on the RexShares website. As you guys know, we do follow Ethan Galstead, so shout out to him. But he does talk a lot about RexShares, and we've seen a lot about RexShares from other YouTubers and just in other places in general. We did not see any of this single stock ETFs come out yet, which unfortunately kind of sucks because we were kind of hoping to pick those up. They had some, I think was like a few was MicroStrategy and Tilray Brands, which is, as you guys know, is a cannabis stock. Those could be potentially very high yielding ETFs, but we have not seen them. So anyways, let's get into what FEPI is. So we are here on the site. This is actually not the page I want. So we're here on the site. You can see this is the FEPI ETF. It's basically a FANG and Innovation Equity Premium Income ETF. So the ticker symbol is FEPI. You have your QSIP here, your asset class, the fund inception date, which is important because this tells us roughly about when we're going to get paid. Assuming that we wanted to buy this right now, is the 9th of this month, so just a few days ago. Again, it's technology under the NASDAQ, which the NASDAQ, as you guys know, is the tech index. So they basically own big tech. They write covered calls on it. And, well, basically those two combined equals a high income potential. So it says here that the fund's investment objectives are capital appreciation and current income. Not really sure what current income means, but notice how they do put capital appreciation before income. So that's very interesting. You can see here that the NAV price currently is $51.68. So this is actually pretty closely priced in comparison to JEPI, not JEPY, but JEPI. As you guys can see, it's roughly about the same price on the charts. JEPI is as this FEPI ETF. So when they say high yield, it kind of makes me wonder if, their high yield's only going to be like 5 or 6%, but somehow I really doubt that. So when they say high income potential, you're talking probably at least double digits. That would be considered high income. So not really much change on the NAV. Closing price was slightly higher. They have a discount to premium model here. So if you guys wanted to know when to pick it up at a discount, or if you don't care about that, then that's your choice. But, a lot of these high income plays, the idea is to buy at a discount and sell at a premium. I'm not going to say it's a guaranteed way to make money, but your chances of making money go up significantly. The fund assets is 1.29 million roughly. Shares outstanding only 25,000. Again, this is a new fund. It just got put onto the market. So as time goes on and as this fund accumulates more assets under management to be able to use to write these covered calls, the share increase will most likely end up increasing over time, similar to what we've seen with the yield max ETFs. The number of holdings says 31, but when I looked at the actual holding sheet, I did not see 31 holdings, so I'm not sure what that means. Perhaps it's a combination of the actual holdings and then the covered calls that they write on the holdings. The expense ratio is 0.65%, so slightly lower than yield max ETFs. Again, that could be indicative of the possibility that maybe the income's not going to be as high as Defiance or yield max, but we'll just have to wait and see. It is a monthly payer, so that's good. You got your SEC yield here, which is actually still blank because, again, it's a new fund. So here's the holdings. You have basically all your big tech companies. You got Meta, NVIDIA, Apple, Google, Microsoft, and then you have it looks like some semiconductor manufacturers. We all know NVIDIA is semiconductors, but you also have Micron, Qualcomm, and AMD, which are all chip processors or creators, and Broadcom is more of like a data center cell tower kind of company. Adobe, I'm not sure why that's in there, but that's in there as well. So it looks like they're using the S&P 500 to compare as their benchmark, which is quite interesting because this is more of a tech-based ETF. So I'm curious as to why they're using the S&P instead of the Nasdaq when according to their holdings, it's more tech-based, and S&P is kind of like discretionary, your consumer staples, utilities, things like that. I mean, the tech companies are in the S&P, but the S&P has 500 stocks in it, and a lot of those are based on kind of old money, uh, discretionary things like real estate and consumerism and food and that kind of stuff. They just have to have tech put in there, but the Nasdaq is actually mostly strictly tech. So you got some disclaimers here. I'll leave this in the comment section for you guys below to check out for yourself if you want to. I'm not going to go super deep into this. So here is a news article that was posted on our website as well that you guys can see here. So I think the important piece here is this section right here where it says we created FEPI to address a glaring market need, provide access to just the leaders in big tech, and use the volatility from these stocks to provide potential high income by selling out of the money call options on them, according to the CEO. This allows for upside participation in the important tech stocks that continue to drive the overall market while at the same time providing income, which can also serve as a buffer against market downturns. As you guys know, covered calls do have some downside protection. We showed you the comparison between Tesla and Tesla. That's a pretty good example of downside protection. FEPI is our present solution for income, paving the way for more option-based innovations from the RexShares team. So it basically sounds like this is like their beta tester. They're pretty much putting this on the market to kind of test it out, see how it goes, and then they'll have more ETFs coming in the future, which we will cover for you guys when they do come out and as we're able to. There was something else in here that I wanted to point out to you guys if I can find it. So I'm not seeing it in here, but I'm certain that I saw somewhere earlier that they do not give you not a 401k, a K1 form, which is basically a form that if you had ownership in like a master limited partnership or an actual, like in a lot of cases, an oil company, not ExxonMobil or Chevron, but like some of the other oil companies, there's a chance that you may get sent a K1 form, and a lot of people get IRS audits as a result of not filing them on time. K1 forms are not given to you by, and again, I'm not a tax consultant, consult with a tax professional about this, but K1 forms are typically sent out by the company itself. So it's hard to really know when it's going to show up. From our perspective, we don't like to own anything that sends out a K1 form. A lot of people say it's not a big deal, but we just don't want the complication of it. So everything else we do is already pretty much complicated enough. Yeah, so here it is right here. This approach not only seeks to facilitate monthly distributions to investors without a K1 form, that's what that is, and then so on, so on. So that's another important aspect to point out. As you guys can see here, this is the holdings. We download the PDF. So you got all your big tech companies: Meta, Nvidia, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, and Netflix. But you also have some other chip and data companies in here. So you got AMD, Broadcom, Adobe. Let's see what else. Micron, Qualcomm, Intel. These guys right here, these three are all chip makers, and so is AMD. Salesforce, curious about that one. But yeah, this is pretty much their holdings. This is the net asset value and the weightings of the holdings. You guys can download this from the website. I will leave the website link in the description for y'all. And it looks like this may be their covered call positions that they've taken in all these different companies so far. So just so y'all know, it is available to buy on Robinhood, and it is available to buy on Webull as well, and it might be available on some other platforms, although I'm not sure which platforms they'll be available on because I'm not seeing it here on the website. So that may be something that you guys will have to contact them and be like, hey, where can we buy these at? Or check on your platform to see if you can buy it there. Now, I've heard that some of the ETFs that they are coming out with are going to have 2 to 3x leverage. So if these things end up having a yield like Tesla does and they have a 2x leverage on it, guys, you're talking about 100% yield here. Now, don't quote me on this. I don't know what it's going to be yet. None of us know what it's going to be yet, but it's a possibility. We'll just have to wait and see. If it has a yield like that and we see at least a month's worth of distributions paying out in this thing, we are absolutely going to be picking some up. So, yeah, this is the video about FEPI. It's very interesting. The inception date was this month, so it doesn't say when it's going to pay out yet. So we assume it's going to be sometime next month or maybe in December. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, let us know your thoughts down below and whether you guys want to pick some up or not. For us personally, we're going to wait till we see a dividend payout. That's typically how we do it. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see y'all later. Peace.